Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Gangurde, Assistant Professor of Zoology, KTHM College Nasik. Students, today we are going to introduce the new insect of the major agricultural importance or the major agricultural pest. Now here the insect is red cottonbug. So its scientific name is Distogus cingulatus. Here you can see the red cottonbug or its scientific name Distogus cingulatus. Now here the cotton, which is the commercial crop and the backbone of the textile industry. So it provides employment to majority of the population directly or indirectly, and also the important source of foreign exchange. As we know that the cotton which is cultivated in the field or which is cultivated in the field, and again lot of labors they required to harvest the cotton. Now such a cotton which is again passed to the ginning industry, again the lot of workers they require for the process, and from ginning industry the thread which is formed, and from thread different kind of clothes they form. Now in all this process lot of labors they require, lot of manpower is required, and ultimately which provide the employment directly or indirectly. Okay, now so which provide us a foreign exchange also. Okay, why? Because if suppose we have the cotton in major quantity, then or suppose we have lot of cloth factories, then we can export the cloth, we can export such a threads. Okay, so such a cotton, it is again important source of foreign exchange. Now the red cotton bug Distogus cingulatus, which is an important pest of cotton crop. Okay, now it is a pest, serious pest to such a cotton crop. So the nymphal stages or adult stages, they are the infective stages, and they impart their excreta on the cotton ball, or either by their mouth parts they suck the oils from their seeds or from the cotton buds. Now here we can see first the systemic position. So here such a insect, such a red cotton bug which belongs to phylum Arthropoda. So Arthropoda means the jointed appendages are there, exoskeleton which is made up of a material that is nothing but the chitin. The class Insecta, where the body of insect which is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen. Now the order Hemiptera. Order Hemiptera is the order of true bugs. Here the forewings they are modified into Hemielytra. Hemi means half, elytra means wing. The half wing it is hard and half wing it is membranous. Okay. Now the family Pyrocoridae, or what we say is that firebugs. Why? Because they are usually red in their body color, and they along with that they are cotton stainers. Okay, so they excrete their deposita on the ball of cottons, open ball of cottons, and they stain the cotton. So they are the cotton stainers. Genus Distogus and the species Cingulatus, or we also called it as a zonulus. Okay, now come to the distribution. Here the red cotton bug, also known as cotton stainer, and they are widely distributed throughout the Indian subcontinent like Sri Lanka, Philippines, Australia, and along with that it is the major pest in cotton growing regions of northern India, particularly in India, in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. Now we can focus on the host plants. Now the cotton, which is the main plant or the main host plant or the food plant of the bug, of red cotton bug. Okay. Now besides cotton, it is along with cotton or beside this, which can also feeding on the different plants, such as those plants they belongs to family Malvaceae, such as lady's finger, hollyhock or hen. Now, along with that, which can also infest the plants having succulent, juicy and oily seeds. Okay. Now the cotton, okra, kapok, jute plants, they are mostly affected by such a pest, such a Distogus cingulatus. Now, here, if we can discuss regarding the identification mark of insect, here, adults and names, they are, what we say says that the names, they are miniature to that of their adults. Okay, but there are variation in the marks. Now, suppose we discuss first regarding the adult. Here, the adult bugs or adult bugs are elongated, slender insects, 12 to 15 mm in length. So they are crimson, bright red colored with white bands across the abdomen. The membranous partition of their forewings, antenna and scutellum are black. Here you can see the membranous portion of the antenna, then scutum and the eyes are black. Whereas the forewings are with characteristic black spots. Here you can see also in this diagram, the forewings, they are provided with the black spots. Now, and such a forewings, they modify into hemielytra, having the basal half sclerotized and apical half portion membranous. So hemi means half. Half portion is thick. Here you can see in the diagram, and the half wing which is the membranous. Now here these two wings, they are overlapping. So this is the membranous structure of both the forewings, and here you can see a paired forewing or half part of the forewing. Okay. Now this is what about the adult insect. Now the nymph, which is the miniature copy, which is similar to that of adult in appearance. Here you can see the nymphs, they are smaller or wingless and look like miniature of adult. So they are also red colored with black median dorsal spots on intertergal membrane of the 3 to 4 segment, 4 to 5 segment and 5 to 6 segment on the abdomen. Now, means on the here you can see the tergal region. Tergal region is the dorsal region of the abdomen. So, on the dorsal region of the abdomen, the segment number 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and 5 to 6, where such a black median dorsal spots, they are present. So, they have white bands from dorsal and ventral side on their abdomen, indicating that or demarcating the abdominal segments. Now, both adults and nymphs, they are provided with a piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts. And you are familiar with this mouth parts, piercing and sucking type of mouth parts. So, here you can see the piercing and sucking type of mouth parts. They are useful to suck the oil from the cotton seeds and also the juices from the cotton buds or different plants. Here we can discuss the life history of Distogus cingulatus. Now the insects are active throughout the year and passes winter in the adult stage. Now here they are actively breed during the spring on their host plant, that is cotton. Okay, so they take shelter under the leaves or debris for protection from their predators. Means such a insects, they hide themselves under the leaves of plants and they can try to cover themselves by means of debris of the part of plant and either by the excreta, their own excreta. Okay, now we can see the stages one by one. Here the egg where the female lays an average near about 100 to 130 number of eggs in cluster during the spring in moist soil surface. Okay. Then again fallen leaf litter or in crevices of the ground. Okay. Now on the ground such a crevices, such a holes, such a gaps they are present. Okay. Now on that moist soil, the female which can deposit number of eggs. The eggs are spherical, bright yellow and are laid in clusters or in loose irregular masses of 70 to 80 eggs. Okay. So here each cluster, each group of egg which contains near about how many, that is 70 to 80 number of eggs. Now after the incubation period, that is 7 to 8 days is complete, okay, from which the hatchlings come out, or what we say is that after the incubation of 7 to 8 days, the eggs they hatch out. Okay. Now the next stage is the nymphal stage. Now here the eggs hatch into wingless nymphs. Though nymphs they are present, but they are wingless. They are the non-flying stages. So the eggs hatches into wingless nymphs resembling the adults. The nymphs have flabby abdomen or bulgy abdomen. As they grow older, they become more slender and develops the black marking on the body. Okay. Now at the miniature, at the lower stages, the nymphs, okay, they shows their abdomen flabby or puffy or bulgy. But as they become older, as the age become advanced or they pass from one stage to another towards the adult, the abdomen which become or the body shape which becomes slender along with the black margins on the body. Okay. So there are 5 to 6 nymphal stages and the development is completed in 49 to 89 days. Okay. Means the total period of means that is from egg hatching to the nymphal stages, that is what we say is that the total 5 to 6 nymphal instars or the span which takes near about 49 to 89 days. Okay. Now come to the adult. Now here the adults are about 12 mm long. 12 mm long in their body size, but here in case of insect, the females they are larger in their body size as compared to the males. Okay. Now the males, in summer the lifespan of an about in variable, but in winter it may live up to 3 months. Okay. The lifespan of adult which is variable depending on the climatic condition, but probably the season of winter where which lives near about 3 months. Okay. Now this is what about the life history of the life cycle of the Distichus scintillatus. Now here you can see the next, nature of damage. Now the nature of damage or how the insect which can damage to the cotton plant. Okay. Now both the nymphal and adult stages are acting as a paste and suck the cell sap from the leaves, tender shoots and green balls of the cotton that affects the nourishment of plant. As I already told you, both the developing stage, both the nymph and adult stages, they having a similar kind of mouth parts, piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts. Now by using these mouth parts, both the stages, nymphs or adults, they suck the cell sap from the leaves of cotton plant or the tender shoots of the cotton plant or either green balls of the cotton that affects the nutrition or the nourishment of the plant. So due to removal of cell sap, the cotton ball opens at premature stage and fresh wet lint that comes out further attract the bugs which then start feeding on seeds. Okay. So Here by feeding on such a cotton balls, okay, on the green cotton balls, on this process, okay, they affect the growth, they affect the nutriment nourishment of the entire plant. By this, by the action of this feeding, the premature opening of the balls or such a leaves takes place. Okay, so such a cotton balls they get open, and if such a cotton balls they are premature, okay, now the seeds they expose, and again the bugs or the nymphs they suck the oil from the seeds of such a leaves or such a cotton balls. Okay, now as they feed on contents of seeds present in the leaf, germination capacity of oil seed contents of seed which is also affected. So the soil which loses their germination capacity, or if we can sow such a seeds, they have less capacity to germinate. Okay, now as they feed on, again moreover the bugs stain the lint with their excreta or body juices as they crushed in the ginning factories. That I already told you. Such a bugs they are cotton stainers. Cotton stainers. Why? Because while feeding mechanism, okay, they having the piercing and sucking kind of mouth part. So here by feeding mechanism they impart their body juices, or again they deposit their excreta on the cotton ball. So problem is not in the field, cotton field, but the problem is in the ginning industry. Such a cotton balls they get stained, and such a stained cotton is not make a continuous, what we say is that a continuous color thread. Okay, so there is a problem in the process of ginning. Okay, now such a stained lint has low market value, which causes economic loss to the farmers. So they also facilitate the secondary infection due to bacteria into balls, causing rotting of entire content of the ball, followed by discoloration of the lint to yellow or brown. Okay, so while by the process of feeding, they make the lint, such a cotton ball, yellow or brown in color. Now, this is what about the nature of damage. Now, come to the control measure. So, there is always need to control the attack of such a pest. Okay, now the control measures they include again three methods, or again here the methods such as cultural control method, biological control method, or chemical control method. So all the methods we can see one by one. Now the cultural method include here the ploughing the cotton field so as to destroy eggs by exposing them to sunlight. By process of ploughing, the cotton field were destroy the eggs. Why? By the process of this ploughing, okay, the soil which come out, the soil which is what we say is that the below soil which come out or exposed directly to the sunlight, and here the female which lay number of eggs in the moist soil surfaces. So such a eggs they get exposed to the sunlight. Okay, so the eggs they get exposed and they get destroyed by sun rays or by sunlight. Okay, now the nymphs and adults can be handpicked and killed physically or either using kerosinized water. So near or at some interval within cotton fields, other host plants such as lady's finger should sown as to trap, control to collect and destroy the bugs. Okay, so suppose we can take alternate crop. Suppose first time we implant or we take the cotton crop. Next time we should not take the cotton crop. We should take the that is lady's finger crop to change the host plant. Or suppose we cultivate the or we take the crop of again lady's finger plant. So ultimately the developing stages or the eggs, suppose they are present underneath surface of the soil or inside the moist soil. Okay, if they are not killed by these all processes, they attack on the lady's finger plant, and we can control the developing stages by using different chemicals or different pesticides. Now, incorporating with grama, soybean, castor, sorghum, again different plants, reduces the pest infestation. Now, moistened seeds of cotton can be used in the cotton fields to attract the bugs to kill in kerosinized water. Okay, this is what all about the cultural control method. Now come to the biological control method. Here, the predaceous bugs like Antilochus cucuberti or Herpacter costalis, they are effective predators that feed on the nymphs and adults. Now here you can see some predator bugs are there like the Antilochus or Herpacter. They feeding on the developing stages of such a pest, such a red cotton bug. Now the application of nuclear polyhedrosis virus, that is what we say is that NPV, in the ratio what we say is that 3:1012 or POB per hectare, that is polyhedral occlusion bodies per hectare in the time of evening. So application of such a NPV, such a nuclear polyhedrosis virus in the ratio of this much 3:1012 per hectare in the time of evening, and the mass that is near about 7th and 12th week after sowing. Okay, after sowing the seeds of cotton plant or either lady's finger or either host plants, so we have to apply or application of such a NPV or nuclear polyhedrosis virus. Okay, now this is what about the biological control, and again here the common biological control, that is egg parasitoids such as Trichogramma species, which is again introduced or effective to control the developing stages. Now the last one is the chemical control method. Here, use of proper insecticides which are comparatively safer to neutral enemies such as endosulfan, then phosphalon, they are used. So insecticides in their proper proportion we have to use to control the developing stages, to control the adult stages. The pesticides or insecticides such as endosulfan, phosphalon or malathion we have to use. Now the spraying of malathion in the concentration that is 0.05%, which is effective to eradicate the bugs. Now this much very low or minute concentration of malathion which controls such a it is an insecticide which controls the or to eradicate the bugs. So it is very effective method. That is chemical control method. Okay. Now this much we are discussing today about the red cotton bug, its systemic position, then again its life history, nature of damage, its control measure. Okay. Now in next chapter we discuss the next insect, brinjal fruit borer or stem borer. Okay. Thank you so much.